am just about to start my workout for today. I'm using my dip bar again today, but you do not need any exercise equipment whatsoever to follow along with this workout because I will be providing equipment-free substitutions, so please watch the tutorial to see those. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So my dip bar is all I'm using today. I'm not even using my jump rope today. I know, very unusual for me. I also have my mat here. I'm just going to use my mat to kind of steady my dip bar and so that I have some protection for my hands because we're going to be doing push-ups. So I'm going to have my hands on the mat. You may or may not need an exercise mat or a yoga mat. We'll get to that more in a little bit, but just keep that in mind. If you do have an exercise mat or a yoga mat, you might want to get that ready. If you don't have a mat, you may need a towel or something else so that you have something soft beneath you. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, I don't think you'll need anything at all. But I am technically going to be using my mat. So first of all, let me just start by telling you that there are two parts to this workout. Now, I have included this workout on my playlist of 20-minute workouts, but it's only part 2 that's 20 minutes long. So if you chose this workout from that playlist because you specifically want to do a 20-minute workout today, you're going to skip part 1. Use the chapter markers to navigate ahead to part 2 of the workout. Just do part 2 with me, and that's your 20-minute workout. All right, so let's go through the exercises for part 2 first. There are just 2 exercises. I'm going to be doing what I call reverse push-ups on my dip bar. I call them that because the first person I ever saw do this exercise was Light, and she did it on this exact same piece of equipment, and she called it reverse push-ups, and so that's always what I've called it. But really, it's more of a body weight row. So let me show you what the exercise looks like first, and then I'll show you what to do if you do not have a dip bar, because there's lots of different ways that you can modify this exercise. So what I'm going to be doing is coming down onto my mat so that I'm kind of inside. I always feel like I'm in a little fort. I'm inside of my dip bar like this. And then I'm going to grab a hold of the handles and I'm going to lift my hips up. So I'm going to press my heels into the ground and lift my hips up like this. Now, I like to do this with my knees bent. If you are stronger than I am, you can do this exercise with your legs straight, and that increases the difficulty quite a bit. It's the equivalent of doing push-ups from your knees as opposed to doing them from your toes. So the way I do this exercise is more of the beginner modification, but if you're more advanced, you can do this exercise with your legs straight. But I'm going to have my knees bent and both feet flat on the ground, and then all I'm going to do is really engage my back muscles. I'm going to bend my elbows and lift my torso up as high as I can, and then lower myself back down with control. So my feet are flat on the ground, and that means that I'm able to use my legs to assist me. So if you're doing this assisted version with me, be mindful of how much you are using your legs and do your best to use them as little as possible. You really want to make your upper body do as much of the work as possible here, but we are going to be doing a lot of reps. It's going to get tough. So bend your knees if you need to. You can start with your legs straight, and if it gets too difficult, you can bend your knees to make it a little bit easier and use your lower body to assist you. So this is an assisted version of this exercise. Your legs are there to assist you, so use them as much as you need, but as little as possible. But that's it. It's a super simple exercise. You're just lifting your torso up and then lowering yourself back down with control. So make sure you're not dropping down. Make sure the movement is under control. All right, that's it. Now, if you do not have a dip bar, let's talk for a minute about what to do if you do not have a dip bar. First of all, I think this is a really useful piece of equipment. So if you're looking to add something like this to your home gym, I'm going to recommend that you check sites like AMRAP or Facebook Marketplace, because there are lots of pieces of equipment similar to this one. This specific piece of equipment is from Ultimate Body Press. So if you like this one, you can look for that, but there are cheaper ones. There used to be an Amazon branded one. I don't think it exists anymore, but you can check Amazon, and of course you can check like, sporting goods stores. But you can buy one brand new, that's great. If you want to save a little money though, I think checking sites like AMRAP and Facebook Marketplace are your best bet, because frequently people buy exercise equipment like this and then they don't end up using it, and they want to get a little bit of their money back that they spent on the piece of equipment, and so they will sell it for a reasonable price. So that would be the first thing you could do if you're looking to add a piece like this to your home gym. But if you don't want to do that, another thing you could do is to look for an old walker. So if you have access to an old walker already, the kind I'm talking about, like they're like silver and they look kind of like this, you know what I'm talking about. I have checked OfferUp plenty of times for an old walker, and I've always been able to find one for like $10 or $15. So if you don't have one already, and you do want to add something like this to your home gym, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on a fancy piece of exercise equipment, look for an old walker. You can usually find one for under $20. And honestly, you can pretty much use it for everything I use my dip bar for. So that's another option. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to spend any money, or you don't have space to be adding bulky items like this into your garage or your guest room or wherever, that's fine. Before I had my dip bar, I used to do this exercise using 2 dining room chairs back to back with a broomstick suspended in between my dining room chairs. I'm not going to lug my dining room chairs out here right now to demonstrate this. So hopefully you can imagine what I'm talking about. Imagine 2 dining room chairs back to back. So like if there was someone sitting in each chair, one person would be facing that way, one person would be facing this way, okay? And I would be standing right next to the backs of the chairs. And then suspended in between the rungs of the chairs, I had a broomstick. And then I would get underneath my chairs, underneath my broomstick, and use the broomstick to pull myself up. So my grip was different. When I'm using my dip bar, my palms are facing each other. When I used to use my broomstick, my palms would be facing forward. So it's a little bit different, but it's a great substitution. It depends, of course, on what you have available to you. So please be smart, be safe, use your common sense. If you're going to do something like that, first of all, place your chairs on an exercise mat or a yoga mat so that they do not slide from underneath you and cause you to fall. Make sure that your chairs are strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure they're sturdy, meaning that they're well made, they're in decent condition, nothing that's going to break or fold up or collapse when you put weight on it. And again, make sure that they are stable. They're not going to slide from underneath you. And make sure that your broomstick also is in good condition. Make sure that it can withstand your entire body weight hanging off of it, and it's not going to snap in half or something like that. Make sure that your broomstick is secured in between the chairs, okay? It sounds like it's super tricky, but it's really not. I'm just telling you to use caution because I want everybody to be safe. But I did used to do this exercise using 2 of my dining room chairs with a broomstick suspended between them. I used to do this exercise like that all the time, and it worked. So as long as you can do so safely, that could be an option for you. But if you don't have a piece of equipment similar to this, and you don't have a walker that you can use, and you don't have chairs and a broomstick that you can use safely, another thing you can do is pull-ups. So if you have a pull-up bar, like I have one of those pull-up bars, they're like $30 at Bed Bath & Beyond, minus 20%, if you know, you know. Those ones that just fit in the doorway, and you just put them right in the doorway and you can do pull-ups. I have one of those are super cheap, they don't take up a lot of space. So if you have something like that, great, you can use it today. You can do pull-ups instead of these reverse push-ups that I'm doing on my dip station. Or sometimes there are other places, like if you have like a fence that's really sturdy, or the side of your deck. One time I was in Big Bear and I was staying at an Airbnb that had a deck, and I was able to hang off of the side of the deck and do hanging knee raises. So you might be able to find something else that you can safely do pull-ups on around your house. Or remember, you can always take the workout to like a local park. I have a park within walking distance from me that has like parallel bars that I would be able to use to do these reverse push-ups the way I'm doing them on my dip bar. But they also have pull-up bars, so I could do pull-ups instead if I wanted to. So keep that in mind as well. But if you need something else, like if there's no kind of like way that you can pull yourself up, really, even though I call these reverse push-ups because that's what Zuzka used to call them, because it looks like you're doing a push-up upside down, what it really is a row. It's a body weight row. So if you think about what you're doing and think about the muscles that you're using, it's the same as if you were doing a bent over row. But instead of holding onto a weight and rowing your weight, you're rowing your own body weight. So you're working against gravity by kind of doing that upside down. But you can grab literally any kind of weight, okay? So if you have dumbbells or a kettlebell or a medicine ball, great. If you don't have any exercise equipment, household items, grab a bag of kitty litter or a bag of dog food, a bag of charcoal, all right? So a basket full of laundry, all right? It can be any kind of weight as long as you can find something around the house that you are able to maintain a secure grip on, so you're not going to drop it on yourself and injure yourself, you're not going to make a mess or break something, and as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items will work. If you want something lighter, grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles. You can fill them with water, or you can fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. You could grab a backpack or a duffel bag filled with some sort of weight. So you could fill it with like a 10-pound bag of potatoes, a couple of bags of uncooked rice. Just get creative and use what you've got. Literally any kind of weight will work, but you can just do bent over rows. You're going to be essentially working the same muscles. All right, so tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets. Your shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. Tighten your abs. Hinging at the hips, you're gonna make sure there's a soft bend to your knees. Don't knock out your knees. Hinge at the hips, push that booty back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, remember, you're keeping your chest lifted nice and high. So think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. Try to see if you can get your torso parallel to the ground, but the main thing you want to be sure of is that you're not rounding your back, all right? So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, elongate that spine, and then from this bent over position, you're just going to row your weight, okay? So you're just going to bend your elbows and lift your weights up towards your shoulder. So if you're holding onto 2 dumbbells, you can have your palms facing each other. You can have your palms facing the front of your legs. Okay, so your grip doesn't matter as much. It's going to depend on what you're holding and what's comfortable for you. If you're using a basket of laundry, your hands are going to be on the outsides of your basket of laundry, and you just bend your elbows. Whatever you're holding onto for weight, you're just going to roll the weight up towards your chest, and that's it, okay? So that's not exactly equipment free, but it is, because household items are not exercise equipment. And I think that everyone can find something around the house that they are able to maintain a secure grip on and that is not too heavy that they can use for this exercise. So if bent over rows are absolutely not going to work for you for whatever reason, and you need any further help with an equipment-free substitution for this exercise, please just ask. I'm always here to help, but I really think that one of those options should probably work for pretty much everyone, all right? So hopefully that is sufficient, but that is the first exercise. So you can either be doing what I call reverse push-ups, which are really body weight rows, or you can be doing pull-ups, chin-ups, any kind of exercise where you are pulling yourself up. If that's not going to work, then you can be doing bent over rows. All right, so that is the first exercise. The second exercise is going to be knee raise burpees. So it's really just a push-up and then a knee raise on my dip bar. So for the knee raise, all I'm going to do is grab a hold of the handles of my dip bar, and then I'm going to bend my knees and drive my knees up towards my chest, and then bring them back down. That's it. Super simple, super tough. You're gonna see me crying with my little weakling baby abs. So before I do my knee raise, I'm going to be doing a push-up. So I'm going to be doing, that's another reason I have my mat here. If you have fitness gloves, I would say definitely you'll need your fitness gloves today, but I'm just going to be using my mat for the push-ups. So I'm going to be putting my hands down on the mat right here underneath my dip bar, just so they have a little protection and it's more comfortable for me to do my push-ups out here on the concrete. And then I'm going to jump my feet back so that I'm in a plank position. You can step them back or jump them back, it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to do a push-up, and then jump or step the feet in, and then I'll do my knee raise. That's the exercise, okay? That's a knee raise burpee. So, push up, knee raise. So, again, a walker will work for the knee raise. Parallel bars, if you have access to something like that at the park, will work. Or if you want, you can do hanging knee raises. So you can do your push-up, and then you can grab your pull-up bar, hang from the pull-up bar, and do your knee raise from a hanging position. If none of that's going to work for you, then you can really do any burpee variation you want. If you want it to be similar to what I'm doing and you want to include like an ab exercise, then I'm going to recommend knee hug burpees. So this is where you're going to need something soft beneath you, like an exercise mat or a yoga mat, for example, if you're doing knee hug burpees instead of knee raise burpees. Now, you can do any burpee variation you want. I want to emphasize that again. Your burpee variation doesn't even have to include a push-up. Mine is going to, so if you want to include a push-up, great. You don't have to do knee hug burpees. You don't have to include an ab element in your burpee. It can really be any burpee variation you want, with or without a push-up. So just do what works for you. But if you want to do something similar to what I'm doing with my dip bar, here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend, first of all, that you mind your form on your push-up. So remember to keep your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Just exactly what I look like standing here. This is what I want my plank pose to look like, all right? And I want my head to be in line with my spine as well. So if you imagine that you are standing with your back up against the wall and just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's the alignment you want. That's where you want your head perfectly up and down in line with your spine, and you want to make sure that your body stays in one perfectly straight line from your heels to your shoulders as you do your push-up. All right, so you don't want to allow your head to kind of droop down like this. You don't need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. Just keep your head in line with your spine and make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. If you find that you are kind of sinking down into your shoulders like this, you want to fix that by pressing the mat away from you, pushing yourself up as high as you can in your plank pose so that your shoulders are away from your ears, and you want to make sure your back stays flat. So we're trying to avoid an arched back, which happens when you fatigue and you allow your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. So make sure your abs are super strong and tight and engaged. You're going to use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them high. And then once you're in this beautiful plank position and your body's in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to the crown of your head, nothing moves. You're going to bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that one straight line from your heels to your shoulders, and then press the mat away from you and push yourself back up. All right, so whatever push-up variation you choose, if you're including a push-up, mind your form on your push-up, please. Head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back, all right? So what I'm going to recommend for your knee hug burpees, I'll show you two variations. We'll start with the easier one. It's still plenty challenging, but then if you're a little more advanced and you want to try something more difficult, I'll show you a more challenging version of knee hug burpees. But for our entry-level knee hug burpees, you're going to start towards one end of your mat. You're going to bend down, place your hands on the mat, jump or step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. Do your push-up. Now jump or step the feet back in, or wait, don't, I lied. Come down onto your belly and roll over onto your back. That's how we're gonna do this. So now I'm on my back, my legs are extended straight. I'm going to extend my arms up overhead, and then I'm going to sit up and crunch my knees in towards my chest. And as I do that, I'm bringing my hands around and I'm going to hug my knees into my chest. Then I'm going to extend my arms and extend my legs again. And now I'm going to roll over so that I'm on the other side of my mat. Now I'm going to dump my feet in, or you can step them in and stand. And that's a knee hug burpee. So when I do my burpees this way, I just kind of travel back and forth. So with my next rep, I'm going to start towards this end of my mat, place my hands down on the mat, jump or step the feet back so that you're in a plank position. Do your push up, and then roll over onto your back, knee hug, roll over again, jump or step the feet in, and stand. If you are a little bit more advanced and you want to try a more challenging variation of knee hug burpees, you can do this instead. So coming down onto your back on your mat, the knee hug is going to be the same. So you're going to start with your legs extended straight and your arms extended overhead. You're going to crunch your knees in towards your chest, and you're going to reach your arms around and hug your knees in towards your chest. And then extend the arms, extend the legs. Now, what you're going to do is sit up again and bend your knees, bring your feet in as close to your booty as you can. And as you do that, you are going to throw your weight forward. It's kind of impossible to show you in slow motion, but you're really going to concentrate on bringing your feet in close while you throw your weight forward. And you're going to end up in this position. And then from here, you can place your hands flat on the floor or the ground in front of you, jump or step your feet back so that you're in a plank position. Do your push up, jump or step the feet in, and then reverse the movement and return to your starting position. All right, so that is a much more advanced, much more difficult version of knee hug burpees. But it's a great exercise. We haven't done this one in a minute, huh? So let me do it a little bit faster so that I can show you what it actually looks like, because I can't do it in slow motion, and you can see the flow of it, all right? So starting down here on your back, knee hug, and now come forward, hands go down in front of you, jump or step the feet back, push up, jump the feet in, reverse the movement. Knee hug, throw the weight forward, push up, and return to the starting position. All right, so that's a couple of different burpee variations. If neither of those is going to work for you, then again, any burpee variation you want to do with or without a push-up is fine. Just mind your form, please. So that's it. That's the only two exercises we are doing for part 2. Part 2 is going to be a 20-minute AMRAP, A-M-R-A-P, that stands for as many rounds as possible. So you're just going to be going back and forth between those two exercises, starting with 20 reverse push-ups or bodyweight rows or bent over rows, and then 10 knee raise burpees or knee hug burpees or whatever burpee variation you're doing, okay? 20 reverse push-ups, 10 burpees, back and forth until our 20 minutes is up, and you're just going to complete as many rounds as possible without sacrificing your form in 20 minutes. That's part 2 of the workout. So if you just want to do a 20-minute workout today, you can skip ahead to the warm-up first. Make sure you're taking a few minutes to warm up with me, and then you can skip over part 1 and go straight to part 2. That's our 20-minute AMRAP, and then we'll do a little cool down together, and that's it. That's your workout. If you would like to do part 1 with me, there's just one exercise in part 1, but we're going to be doing it 100 times, so it's going to be super fun. So for part 1, I am going to be using my dip bar, but you absolutely do not need a dip bar or anything to do part 1. I am using this as a target. So if you don't have something like this, obviously you could also use a walker, you could use a chair, you could use a bar stool, you could use a park bench, you could use the arm of your couch or your coffee table. Anything will work for a target, okay? So this is about waist high for me, so something that's maybe about waist high for you will work. But if you don't have a physical object that you need to clear, that's fine. You can use an imaginary obstacle and still do the exact same exercise without anything in front of you. I prefer to have a physical obstacle that I have to clear, because It helps me to really make sure that I'm getting my leg up and over my target. As I fatigue, a lot of times you'll see me kind of brush my target or kick it or something. So that's kind of my gentle reminder, like, okay, let's, engage the core and really get that leg up and over. So I like to have this here as a target. You can use anything as a target that's about this height. The higher your target, the more difficult the exercise will be. The lower to the ground your target, the easier this exercise will be. So keep that in mind as well. If you want to just go with something a little bit lower to the ground, that's up to you, okay? So all I'm going to be doing is kicking my leg up and over the target, then I'm going to kick my other leg up and over the target, and I'm going to do a reverse lunge, alternating sides with each rep. So to start, I'm standing here in front of my target. I'm going to pick up one foot, and I'm going to first kick my leg across my body towards this wall over here, and then I'm going to go up and over in a big arc over my dip bar. Then I'm going to pick up the other foot, and I'm going to kick it over in the same direction. So this foot, I'm not kicking across my body first, I'm picking it up and going directly over my target this way, okay? So I'm kicking over in the same direction with each foot. And on this leg, I'm going to, and when I kick my second leg over, so kick one leg over, as I kick this second leg over, I'm going to allow my momentum to continue. That foot is going to travel behind me, and then I'm going to sink down into a lunge, okay? And then for my next rep, I'm going to take this back foot, I'm going to kick it first across my body, and then up and over my target. Then I'm going to pick up the other foot, kick it over my target in the same direction, let the momentum carry this foot behind me, come down into my lunge, okay? Back foot comes forward across the body, up and over the target. Other leg follows in the same direction. Swing the leg behind you, bend the knees, sink down into your lunge, other side. Back foot comes forward across the body and then up and over the target. Other leg follows in the same direction, reverse lunge. Okay, that's it. It's super simple, but it's super tough. Just remember on your lunge to make sure, first of all, that you're controlling the movement. So I like to actually tap my back knee to the ground when I do my lunges. So if you're planning on doing that, especially, please make sure the movement's under control so you do not bang your knee into the ground. I don't want anyone getting hurt. But you don't have to tap your knee to the ground. Work to your own level. So if you need to shorten up your range of motion and just be here, that's fine. Regardless, just make sure the movement is under control and make sure you're going for about a 90-degree angle in this front knee. So what I mean by that is that you want to make sure that this knee of your front leg ends up more over the heel of your front foot as opposed to being out over your toes. All right, so just mind your form on the lunge, but that's it. That's all we're doing for part one. We're just going to do that exercise 100 times, 100 total reps, alternating sides with each rep. And that's part one. So the whole thing put together is going to look like this. We're going to start with part one, 100 reps of our kick over the dip bar into a reverse lunge. We're doing that at 100 reps for time. And then I'm going to set my timer to count down 20 minutes for me, and we'll move directly on to part two of the workout, which is our 20-minute AMRAP. We're going to be doing 20 reps of reverse push-ups and then 10 knee hug burpees, back to back, as many rounds as we can complete in 20 minutes, and that's it. That's the workout. It's actually really super simple today, but remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you, so watch me do it, read the instructions. But then, of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, or if you have doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. It's incredibly important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly, before you begin the workout so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. So you guys know also that it's incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone, and everyone who wants to do them with me, I am always here to help facilitate that. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. I also want to remind you before we begin to, again, make sure that you are working to your own level. Do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. Please be smart, be safe, use your common sense, listen to your body, and always make the decision that is best for you. Also, make sure that you are going at your own pace. So part one, yes, we're doing those 100 reps for time. The goal is to finish them as quickly as possible, but not at the expense of your form. If you're in good shape, you're most likely going to be much faster than I am, and that's great. If you are faster than I am, be faster than I am, as long as you're not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you find that you're racing through the exercises just because you're trying to go really, really fast, but your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down a little bit. And if you're slower than I am, that's also great. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. What matters is that you're doing the reps correctly. So if you're slower than I am, be slower than I am. Don't race to keep up with me if it means that your form is getting sloppy, or if it means that you're pushing yourself too hard. If you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you find that you're needing to stop and take rest breaks when I'm not resting, or if we're taking a rest break together but you need a longer rest break than what I'm taking, just pause the video. I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready to resume the workout, come back and we will finish it together. Challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. Okay, you need to prioritize your form above all else. It's always better to do your reps slower but with good form than to race through them and do sloppy reps. It's going to be much more effective and much safer to just slow down your pace and make sure that you are not sacrificing your form for speed. I hope I've covered everything. I really need to go ahead and get into the workout because it is hot, hot, hot out here today. This tutorial took much longer than I wanted it to, as usual. So if you are ready to go ahead and begin the workout, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you need one. Okay, so for example, if you're doing knee hug burpees or if you're doing your push-ups from your knees, you're going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. Or if you are using 2 chairs and a broomstick for your reverse push-ups, you're going to want to have your chairs on top of an exercise mat or a yoga mat so that it stays put. So if you're using a mat, go ahead and get that ready. If you have a dip bar or something similar, or an old walker maybe, go ahead and grab that. If not, maybe you can incorporate a pull-up bar. If you don't have anything like that and you're doing bent over rows, then grab something that you can use for weight. So dumbbells or a kettlebell, a medicine ball, a sandbag will be a great option. But if you don't have any of that, look for household items that will work. And then you can pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll go ahead and get right into the workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to start by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Now place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that you are not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. Your arms should be completely relaxed. You're just allowing gravity to do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck using just the weight of your arm. Other side, so allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. You don't want to let your shoulders creep up here by your ears. Shoulders should be back and down, away from the ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So start by allowing your chin to just fall towards your chest and then towards the other shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head get heavier and heavier. You're expanding your range of motion. With each head roll, your arms ragdoll. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just rolling the shoulders back. Exaggerate the movement. Make those circles as big as you can. You should be exploring your full range of motion here. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So extend your arms out to the side and start by just making small circles. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you can start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion. Really make those circles as big as you possibly can. Next, you're going to step your feet out so they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and sweep your arms down in front of you. And as you straighten your legs, you're reaching up, stretching as high up towards the ceiling as you can. And each time you bend your knees, you want to just start expanding your range of motion little by little, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Keep your feet right where they are. We're going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. Adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body. You should feel like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're going to march in place. So you're going to step your feet in and just march. Your knees are low to start. But little by little, you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're really driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a little stretch in your glutes. Now we're going to jog in place. And again, I'm starting with my knees low, but gradually I'm going to start driving my knees up higher and higher towards my chest until I'm driving my knees up as high as I can. Next is booty kicks. So with each step now, I'm bringing my foot behind me, really trying to kick myself with a booty cheek with my heel. For this next one, you may need to hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. Transfer your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then gradually you can start increasing your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. We're going to switch legs again. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, extend the leg out in front of you, and then bring it around and behind. Just drawing a little semicircle with the leg. Each time you make that semicircle, you can lift the leg a little higher. And for the last two, you're going to drive your knee up in front of you and use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side. So just making semicircles, lifting that leg higher and higher. Each time you bring the leg around and behind. And then for the last two, driving the knee up towards your chest. Use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. We're going to finish with a quick hamstring stretch. So you can use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you. You want to keep your back as flat as possible in this stretch so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So using a chair or the wall can just make it a little bit more accessible, a little bit more comfortable, finding that stretch while maintaining a flat back. But that's it. That's our 5-minute warm-up. All right, so if you are not doing part 1 with me, go ahead and use the chapter markers to skip ahead to part 2 of the workout. If you just want to do part 2, if you are doing part 1 with me, we are doing 100 reps of our kick over the dip bar into a reverse lunge, alternating sides with each rep. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Get your target in place if you're using a target. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So starting by standing in front of my dip bar, I'm going to take one leg and kick it up and over the dip bar. The other leg follows right into my reverse lunge. Now I'm going to bring this back leg forward, kick up and over my dip bar, and back into a reverse lunge on the other side. So we're alternating sides with each rep. That's 2 reps. So kick up and over, reverse lunge. Other leg, up and over, reverse lunge. That's 4, 5. We're going to 100. So do your best. If 100 reps is too many, just do 50 or 30 or 20, whatever works for you. But I'm counting those as my first 5 reps, so keep going. It's 20 for me. It's 40. That's 50. So you saw my leg hit my target on one of those reps. That's why I was saying I'd like to have a physical target here, because that's a reminder to me to engage my core and really use my core to make sure I'm getting that leg up and over my target. So remember, the lower to the ground your target is, the easier it will be. And if you're worried about hitting your leg on a target and hurting yourself, you can use an imaginary target, that's fine. That was 50 reps. If 100 reps is too many for you, you can move on. 50 is plenty. If you are doing all 100 reps with me, let's take another deep breath, shake it out. And let's get started on this second half. So from my lunge position, kicking up and over, it's 51, 52, 53, 54, keep going. 70. This is 75. We're 3/4 of the way there. Let's keep pushing. That's 80. Just 20 more. Rest if you need to. Just 15 more to go. Let's keep pushing. It's 90. Home stretch. 10 more reps. We got this. Just 5 more. 96, 97, 98, 99. Last one, we made it. And lunge, that is 100. Shake it out. That took me 7 minutes and 48 seconds. That's my part 1. So that means that my workout's gonna be a little over 30 minutes. Just about 8 minutes for part 1. And then obviously I'm taking a couple minutes in between parts 1 and 2. But part 2 is going to be exactly 20 minutes and 10 seconds long. 20-minute AMRAP, but you know we always start with a 10-second rest interval so that we have a few seconds to get ready and we don't lose anything off of our 20-minute work interval. So now is a good time, if you need a rest break, to towel off, get a sip of water, or a sports drink or something, and give your heart rate a minute to come down a little bit, let your breathing normalize a little bit. I'm going to take just another, 30 seconds or so to breathe and kind of shake out my legs before starting on part 2. So, part 2, again, is a 20-minute AMRAP. My timer is set to count down 20 minutes for us. We're doing 2 exercises. We're going to be doing 20 reps of our reverse push-ups, or you can do bent over rows. And then we're going to be doing 10 reps of knee raise burpees. I'm doing knee raise burpees. You can be doing any burpee variation you want. And we're just going to go back and forth between those 2 exercises as many times as we can, completing as many rounds as possible in 20 minutes. All right. I want to stall longer, but the longer I stall, the hotter it's getting out here. So let's just go ahead and get into this part 2. Sooner we start it, sooner it's over with. So if you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. Remember, this is our, oh wait, I think my volume is down. All right, you get a little reprieve while I turn up my volume so we can actually hear the timer. All right, so now I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is our 10 second rest interval. So use this time to get into position. Take one more deep breath. Press the heels into the ground, lift your hips, and now lift your torso up as high as you can and lower yourself back down with control. That's 2. We're doing 20 reps of these. Do your best. Remember, if you are stronger than I am, you can straighten your legs for more of a challenge. Legs bent, those are plenty challenging for me. So now 10 knee raise burpees. So hands down, jump or step the feet back, push up, jump or step the feet in. Grab a hold of the handles of the dip bar and bend your knees, drive your knees up towards your chest, return to your starting position. That's 1 rep. Hands down, jump the feet back, push up, jump the feet in, and knee raise. That's 2, just 10 of these. So 8 more, do your best. That's 10. And that's round 1. Let me see if I can at least do 5 full rounds. I'm gonna do my best. But that's it, that's all we're doing. Just gonna keep repeating that as many times as we can before time is up. So as soon as you can. Another 20 body weight rows. Don't take these little rest breaks if you don't need to. I just don't do this exercise often enough. I don't do any kind of pull-up exercises often enough. And this is really hard for me right now. Another 5. right into burpees if you can. 10 reps. That's 10. That's round 2. Last round I was able to do my first 10 of this exercise before having to pause and rest. I don't know if I'll be able to get to 10 again. Let's find out together. All right. It wasn't easy, but that was 10. I know I don't have enough strength to do another 10 unbroken, so I'll do what I did last round and try to complete this second half by doing 5 and 5. So picking up my count at 10. That's 15. 5 more. That's 20. Burpees. All right, that's my third round. I'm trying to do 5 full rounds. That's my goal, so gotta keep pushing. Obviously my pace is slowing down, so it's gonna be close. Let's go ahead and get started on round 4 when you're ready. That's 10. Remember, if you're bending your knees with me, that means you're allowed to use your legs to assist you. So use them as much as you need, but remember to challenge yourself to use them as little as possible. That's 15 for me. One more deep breath. Five more. Burpees as quickly as you can. That's 10. And that's round 4. Even if I'm not able to complete this 5th round before time is up, I am going to complete it. So this will be my last full round for sure. 15. Just 5 more. My time is ticking away. That's 20. I still have more than 2 minutes left. So let's definitely go ahead and finish this round 5, 10 burpees. Last one. That's 10. That's round 5. I made my goal. We still have quite a bit of time left. Over a minute. So let's see how many body weight rows we can complete before time is up. Seconds left. That was my 15th rep of reverse push-ups. So that means my official score is 5 full rounds plus 15 bodyweight rows or reverse push-ups. But since we're almost done with these, I'm going to actually reset my timer as a stopwatch and finish this round. You do not have to. If you've had enough, that's fine. 20 minutes is plenty, but I just want to see how quickly I can complete this 6th round since I'm already more than halfway through with it. So 5 more reps of reverse push-ups. All right, those are evil, but they're done. Don't have to do another one of those for the foreseeable future. So So let's just go ahead and finish up with one final set of 10 burpees. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, last one. And 10. All right, my timer right now says 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So about an extra 2.5 minutes over my 20 minutes is what it took me to complete 6 full rounds. So when I'm doing an AMRAP, if I have just started the round, when time runs out, I'll usually just say, that's it, I'm done. But if I'm a significant amount of the way through that round, then I usually will just reset my timer as a stopwatch and complete the round. And then just see how long it takes me to complete the round I'm on. And this way I have 2 goals for the next time I do this workout. My first goal will be to complete more than 5 full rounds plus 15 reps of bodyweight rows, okay? And then my secondary goal will be to complete 6 rounds in under 22 minutes and 24 seconds. So again, it's completely optional. It's a 20-minute AMRAP, so when that 20 minutes is up, the workout is over, you can stop, that's absolutely fine, but I always like to reset my timer. Like I said, if I'm a significant amount of the way through the round, I'll reset my timer and just see how much time it takes me above and beyond my allotted time for the AMRAP to complete the round I'm on. So that's what that was all about. But either way, excellent job. That was a super tough 20-30 minutes. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick little cool down together. You want to keep moving, keep the circulation going while you allow your breathing to normalize and while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. So you could just kind of pace back and forth. That is fine. You can shake out the legs. Let's go ahead and do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bring one arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull it in tight towards your chest, and make sure that your straight arm is completely relaxed. More importantly, make sure that this shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder's tense, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. Your muscle needs to be relaxed in order for it to be pliable enough so that you can really stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, make sure your shoulder's not tense and creeping up by your ear. Shake it out. Let's get the other shoulder. So bringing the other arm across your body. Using the opposite arm to put in close to your chest. Arm is relaxed, shoulder is relaxed. Feel that nice stretch in your shoulder, and make sure that you're focusing on your breath If your breathing is shallow, you want to make sure that you're focusing on taking deep breaths, and you want to keep moving. I always just kind of shift my weight from foot to foot, but you can absolutely pace back and forth while you do this. You can shake out the legs, whatever works for you. All right, shake it out. We're going to do the triceps really quickly. So bending one elbow, place your hand on your elbow and gently use your hand to pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. You want to make sure that your free hand is completely relaxed. The fingers should be pointing straight down at the ground. So make sure that this free hand is not hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. Fingers are pointing straight down at the ground, and you're pulling this elbow towards the opposite shoulder, feeling that nice stretch in your triceps. Shake it out. Nice deep breath, and we'll get the other side. So bending your other elbow, placing your opposite hand on the elbow and using your hand to gently pull the elbow towards your shoulder on the opposite side, making sure that your free hand is relaxed, fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. Keep moving, either shift your weight from foot to foot or shake out the legs, pace back and forth, and keep focusing on your breath. Deliberate breathing is what we're going for. We're trying to slow down our breathing. So if you're breathing shallow up here, imagine your diaphragm really being pulled down as you make room for more air. Expand your rib cage as you breathe in, and imagine filling up your entire belly and your back with air. So when I say long, slow, deep, controlled breaths, that's what I'm talking about when I say deep. Think about breathing all the way down to your belly button and really allowing your rib cage to expand and allow in as much air as you can. All right, let's finish up with a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair or your dip bar for support. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, and then reach back. Grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands and press your heel into your booty cheek. If you're wearing beautiful white shorts like I am, you're trying to get them dirty, all right? You really want to press your dirty foot into your nice white shorts. Press the heel into your booty cheek. And then as you're doing that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So imagine kind of tucking your booty underneath you and think about trying to touch your spine with your belly button. Keep pressing your heel into your booty cheek as you do that. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're instantly going to feel that stretch intensify as you isolate your quads more effectively, but you're also going to feel the stretch continue all the way up to your hip flexor. That's what we're going for. So shake it out. A couple more deep breaths. And let's get that quad stretch on the other side. So bending your leg, bringing your foot behind you, reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands and really press your heel into your booty cheek. As you're doing that, you are focusing on your breathing, of course, but you are also focusing on tilting your pelvis forward. So tucking the booty underneath you, sucking that belly button back towards your spine, and as you do that, you are continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. Focusing on both of those at the same time is going to make this stretch much more effective and more efficient because, like I said, you're getting not only your quads, but your hip flexor as well. A couple more deep breaths here. And come out. And one last time, just shake out the legs, shake out the wrists. Those reverse push-ups, I really feel those in my wrists. So shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit, make sure those shoulders are nice and loose. One more deep breath. And that's it. That's our little cool down. So if you feel like you're still breathing heavily and your heart rate is still elevated, you can continue to just kind of pace around a little bit more. You can do a little more light stretching. That's great. Just remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you're taking at least a good 15 or 20 minutes every day if you can to stretch. If you have time to do it right now, this is going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. If you do not have time to stretch right now, that's fine. As long as you get your stretching done at some point during the day, that's all that matters. Just remember that if you put off your stretching until later in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you're going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. The same way we take 5 minutes to warm up our muscles before we begin the workout. You want to make sure you're taking time to warm up your muscles before jumping into your stretching routine because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely. But whenever you have time to get your stretching done is great. Just make sure that you are getting it done at some point during the day. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. And of course, it's going to improve your flexibility. So please make sure you're taking the time to stretch every day. But that's it. That's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I thought this was a great little workout. It was short, but it was challenging and it kind of hit everything. So if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear about the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, how you can customize it, if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. That is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is who's on first. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says who's on first. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.